So hello, this is the output for the lesson 8 for the Arduino Maker Lab PDF beginner's guide. So here we have the the activity for the serial monitor. So what the serial monitor is it's basically this little HUD here within the IDE itself. So it's it's like an extension. It's a way for us to like put a user input so that we can kind of influence our current Arduino board. So as for the board itself, it's simple. So here we just have a LED display with connected to the Arduino board, and this will basically light up depending on what we put into the serial monitor. So here, as you can see, it says input any color for the LED. So as you can see, we have green, yellow, and red. So if we put one of the colors in the monitor itself, so let's say red, let's click. So as you can see, it types red there, and then if you look down, the red LED actually lights up. And so the same is true for the other colors. So if you put, let's say, yellow, so we put yellow, so we have yellow, and then after that we have green, and then boom, we have green. That's it for the demonstration. So get into the code. So how this works is, of course, first you need to set up everything. So here we have declarations, we have the pin output input for the several pins, we begin the serial monitor, and then of course we put in a piece of, we ask the user what color they want to add to the the user input. So here in the loop, this is where a lot of the functionality is embedded in. So for the loop, the first thing we have to check is serial available. So essentially what it does is that it checks whether, so whenever you use the serial monitor, it creates a temporary buffer for it to receive data. And so this is basically that data is encased within Guan. It is in it gives out like a byte number, if I remember correctly, or something like that, or no, it takes in a byte, and so it checks whether there's enough space in the buffer for it to run. And so as long as so serial available, so it basically gives you a length of how much is left in the buffer before it gets full, and then it will no longer run. So as long as it's above 0, so there's still space, and so the serial monitor will still be able to receive data from the user input. So of course, we check if it's good, and after that we declare com data. So com data as declared here, so we set it as empty. This way you can always reuse com data, and you can always receive something new. That's how we have red, yellow, green under here without it just accidentally concatenating any other color. So here we have a serial read. So the serial read, it basically takes in the input from the monitor itself, and then it basically takes in the input, and then we are able to concatenate that to the data. So this way we are able to essentially take the user input. So the trim here essentially just removes any white space, so any spaces, any leading white trails, or so on and so forth. We can basically cleanse the user input so we can sanitize it. So here we print in the com data. That's why you can see red, yellow, and green here. And then of course, depending on whether the user puts red, yellow, or green, a certain pin will glow. Well, a certain pin will glow, and then everything else will be set to low. And of course, an else case for if they put in anything else. So that's it. It's pretty simple, very basic. So yeah.